Quartzsite is a popular winter place where a lot of people spend their winter, or at least part of it. So today we thought we'd talk about some really interesting and fun day trips.
Some of them are pretty fascinating.
There's going to be one at the end of the video that we're going to mention, which I think is one of the most popular ones, and it's kind of a quirky thing, so be sure to stay to the end to hear about that one. If you've been to any of the places that we mentioned, let us know what you thought about them. And if you know of any other places that we don't mention, let us know about those too. Any good day trips from Quartzsite.
Hi everybody, I'm Sal.
And I'm Sharon.
And we travel the country in our RV with our 3 cats, Seymour, Henry, and Allie.
And Allie is right there. And Henry is right there. And Seymour's out in the other room on the cat castle that he likes so much. You sleeping, Cibo?
And if you're new here, if you haven't already done so, if you can subscribe and like, that would really be great. Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about some of the day trips that we like to go on from Quartzsite when we're staying in Quartzsite.
Most of these places we've been to at one time or another, and some of them are pretty fascinating.
We'll start with some of the closer places. Off to the west, there's Ehrenberg, Arizona, and it's about 15 or 20 miles from Quartzsite. And it's a small town, but there are some stores and restaurants there that are a little bit different than what's in Quartzsite. And there's also the Colorado River that you can see, and that's really pretty, and it's always nice to see the Colorado River for those water lovers, which I am. Then there's Blythe, California, which is about 10 or 11 miles past Ehrenberg into California. Ehrenberg's in Arizona, and Blythe is in California. And in Blythe, it's a town, and it's bigger than Quartzsite, and they have different stores. A lot of people go shopping there to certain stores.
One store we were going to in Blythe was Smart and Final. I think that was our favorite. They have good prices there, but as Sharon was saying, it is a little bigger than Quartzsite. You have a little bit more of a selection in terms of shopping choices there.
And a lot of people like to go to a store called Albertsons in California. And there are different restaurants there. There's a Sizzler, which has a buffet, and just nice different option for different restaurants and things. We also like to go to Parker. Parker is about 35 miles away from Quartzsite, so it's a pretty quick trip. And Parker is also on the Colorado River. And there are plenty of stores there. There's a casino. There's plenty of restaurants. There's a Pizza Hut buffet, if that's what somebody would want. There's a Chinese restaurant that people talk about a lot that they seem to like.
There's a casino there also, and the casino's called Blue Water Casino.
And it's right on the Colorado River. It's really pretty over there. So a lot of people go from Quartzsite to Parker on a day trip and do their shopping, go to Walmart, there's CVS there, different restaurants. So it's a fun little thing. You can make a day out of it, go up there for the day, and then come back to Quartzsite. Also, near Parker, there is a ghost town that you can go to. You go down Shea Road, and probably, I think, a good 15 miles, and then there's signs for the ghost town, and that's how we got there. And we just followed the signs and we made it. And we actually made a video about this. Any videos that we have about any of these places that we've been to, I'll put them in a playlist if you want to see what some of those places are.
I remember the ghost town. That was something I'll never forget. I was kind of a little bit nervous going down there, especially when you're going off near the edge, going towards the when you're almost there at the ghost town. It looks a little scarier than it actually was, but it was quite interesting. I mean, I think that's something really, if you get a chance, you should check it out.
It's probably one of the most amazing views we've seen.
Oh, wow.
I loved it there. There are cliffs to drive near, which is a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's worth the trip. I would like to go back again, and I would recommend it. You can probably also get there by putting it in on Google Maps. Also, another fun thing to do from Parker is go across the river, across the Colorado River. When you're going into town in Parker and you go straight across, instead of turning off to Riverside Drive, you go straight across into California, and then you make a right on Parker Dam Road, and you can drive all the way along that road up to the Parker Dam, and along the way keep your eyes open for burros, wild burros. We've seen them there several times, and that's a pretty good place to see them. A lot of people go up to Oatman, which could probably be a day trip from Quartzsite, but that would be a little bit of a longer trip, more of a day trip from Lake Havasu City.
Right, and the burros, some of them can be pretty friendly. They'll come right up to you. They probably know that they might get something to eat from you, but that was fascinating seeing the burros.
We don't give them anything to eat, though.
No.
But it's always been fascinating to see them. And then you can go up through the California side, and then you come across the Parker Dam, and then you can come back down on the Arizona side. So those are some fun things in Parker. Another trip you can do in a day, it's about 70 miles from Quartzsite, and that is Lake Havasu City.
Oh, Lake Havasu. That's beautiful, Lake Havasu.
We really like Lake Havasu City. There's, of course, some shopping and restaurants there. Lots of restaurants there. We used to go to a Mexican restaurant up there sometimes. There is Lynn's Buffet that we've heard of. We haven't been there. There used to be a Golden Corral, but I believe they closed that. But my favorite thing, I think, to do there is go to London Bridge. Right on, it's the Colorado River going through Lake Havasu City, and it's just beautiful. You can walk over the bridge. The bridge came from London, and now they have a different London Bridge in London. It's just a fascinating place to see. And then if you go down, there's shops down by the London Bridge area by the water. It's a really fun place to go. We went to London Bridge for my birthday at least once or twice, and it's a really fun outing that I really enjoy.
And there's a casino right across from the London Bridge that you can get there by I think it's by is it by a ferry?
Ferry. Mm-hmm.
By a ferry. We've never gone there ourselves, but it sounds like it's really interesting and it might be worth checking out.
Between Parker and Lake Havasu City, there is a place called Bill Williams Wildlife Refuge. We went there once for my birthday. We've done a lot of little birthday adventures, but we went there once for my birthday, and it's really neat. It's on the Colorado River, and it kind of extends out into it, and it's a wildlife refuge. You can see wildlife, and it's very nature-like, and we have a video on that one, which we really enjoyed it there. We've only been there once, but it was a really good time. Lots of pretty views. It gets very windy when you go down to the very end and you're out very far near the water. You're still on land, but you're still out into the water. And there's a bench there. We sat on the bench, but it was like very, very windy because it's just all flat land. It must be windy there most of the time.
From what I remember, it was filled with a lot of waterfowl. Am I right about that? I think there were lots of waterfowl we saw there. And it is very, very beautiful there.
Yeah. I love just being on the water. Those spots that we mentioned so far were mostly north and west of Quartzsite. Now we'll talk about some spots more south of Quartzsite. One place that's pretty interesting is called Kofa Wildlife Refuge, Palm Canyon. There are different ones. There are different parts of the Kofa Wildlife Refuge, but the Palm Canyon one is really popular. People like to go there in four-wheelers, and also you can go there with your vehicle. You go park near the back by Palm Canyon, and you can do a hike, and you can hike right up into a canyon where there are palm trees. We went there, we did a trip there, but we didn't go all the way up. It can be a challenging hike. We have friends that did it. We know other people that did it, but it can be challenging, and we chose not to go all the way up. But it was still fun and fascinating what we did. And it's beautiful there.
It's very beautiful. With the palm trees, it's fascinating seeing those palm trees up that high up. But we did pretty much go almost all the way up to the top. It was not that far up, but we decided we just didn't feel comfortable going all the way to the very top. But we got pretty close.
And we have a video about that. Probably I think two videos about that. Another place down not too far from Kofa, it's a little further south. It's called Cibola Wildlife Refuge. It's probably about an hour from Quartzsite. I have not been there, but it's a good place for wildlife, to see wildlife, and so that could be something you want to check into if you really enjoy wildlife and birding. Another place that's interesting to go to is called Glamis Sand Dunes, and that is in California. That's a little bit of a farther trip. It's about 90 miles from Quartzsite, but you can see the sand dunes, and it's recommended to have a four-wheel vehicle. But we went there in the RV, and it was pretty interesting. It was fun to see. Another place that we really like to go is Yuma. We usually go camp at Yuma. It's about 80 miles from Quartzsite. It's full south of Quartzsite, on Route 95, and there's plenty to do in Yuma. Just for scale, Lake Havasu City has one Walmart, Parker has one Walmart, and Yuma has 3 Walmarts plus a Walmart neighborhood market. So you can tell that Yuma's a lot bigger, and they have just about everything in Yuma that you could want, pretty much.
Not to mention plenty of restaurants.
Yeah, we like to go to the Quayshawn Casino for their buffet on the weekends, the brunch or the breakfast. They're both good. And we also like to go to Golden Corral. They have a really nice special for $11.49 from 1 to 4, Monday through Friday, for a meal and a drink for seniors. So that's a nice little deal there. And then there's Lynn's Buffet that we like to go to also in Yuma. But Yuma has plenty of places. There are the Buttercup Sand Dunes, which are down Interstate 8 into California from Yuma, probably about 13 or maybe 20 miles from Yuma. And that is where
Return of the Jedi was filmed, or at least part of it. That's pretty cool.
We just actually learned that, and we found that really fascinating. So that would be an interesting attraction to see. So there's plenty to do in Yuma. If you come to Yuma, if you come for a day trip, just come early, and you can spend the whole day shopping and eating. And
we've done that. We've actually come to Yuma when we were in Quartzsite for a day trip, and we went to eat and did a few other things. We might have gone shopping, and then we went back to Quartzsite. It wasn't like something that took all day, but it did take a while, but it wasn't too bad.
We actually came for my birthday 2 years ago. My birthday's in March, so Sal brought me down. I wanted to go to the brunch for my birthday, so we came, and then we went and visited a friend. And
we might have gone for some shopping also.
Yeah. Some of the other longer day trips that you could do, you could go to Joshua Tree National Park. That's about 94 miles from Quartzsite, and that's quite an adventure. You definitely would want to leave early to have time to go through the whole park. It's a national park, and it's quite neat. I've been there too. We have a video on that. We went there our first year with the tribe. Sal didn't go, actually. Sal stayed back for some reason that day, but I went with the tribe. And another day trip could be Phoenix. Phoenix is about 110 miles from Quartzsite, so you'd need at least a couple of hours to get there and back. It would be a trip you'd want to leave early for. But Phoenix, I don't think we need to say too much about that. It's a huge city, 1 million people.
Something close to that, I believe, yes.
So some people take day trips from Quartzsite to go shopping in Phoenix, and probably make a day of it and go to restaurants and things like that. Now, the main attraction that people seem to really love this one. This one is near Parker, It's called the Desert Bar, and you have to go down a rough road to get to it. It's called Nelly Saloon. It's only open on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, from like noon to about 6 or so, noon to dusk. And it's only open between October and May. And it's a rough road. You need either a four-wheel or a higher vehicle that you won't touch the ground. We have not been there, but we've heard about it, and it sounds like it's a really popular place. It's cash only, and it's a bar in the middle of the desert, and so it sounds really cool. It's not a place we've gone to, and they have bar foods there, I believe, and of course 2 bars, and so seems like people really enjoy that one. I've heard about it several times, so it sounds like it's an interesting, fun place.
If you've been to the Desert Bar, we'd like to know about it. We'd like to know what it's like, if you can describe it a little bit, describe your experience there. I think that would really be interesting.
Or if you've been to any of these places that we mentioned, or if you know of any other interesting day trips from Quartzsite that people could make, leave us a comment about it. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.
We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.